Now we're going to multiply two binomials. This is so important. You have to be great at this. You just can't be good at it, because eventually when we start factoring, you have to do it backwards. All right, but you're going to be fine with it, and most people pick it up easy. So here we go. Let's say I have to multiply x plus 2 times x plus 3. Now, what this really is just double distributive property. But we have to do it by the FOIL method, because when we go later on to factor, it'll be easy that way. But just to show you what it means. It means if I did distributive property and I covered up the 2, I would distribute my x. And I would get x squared plus 3x. Then if I covered up my x and distributed my 2, I'd get plus 2x plus 6. Then I'm not done. I multiplied. I combine like terms and I get x squared plus 5x plus 6. But we're going to have to do it by the FOIL method. So, FOIL is for multiplying two binomials. F stands for first. O stands for outer. I stands for inner. And L stands for last. So, we're going to multiply by the FOIL method. So what we have to do is multiply 4 times. First, outer, inner, last. So here we go. This is a quantity. This is a quantity. This is the first term in this quantity. This is the first term in this quantity. We multiply first. I get x squared. Now I have to multiply outers. Here's my expression. These are my outer edges. If you have trouble in the past with this, it's usually your signs. This plus is glued to that 3. So plus 3 times x is plus 3x. They're my outers. Now I do my inners. Is plus 2x. Now I multiply my last. This is a last. That's a last. So it's 4 multiplies. So your multiply rules, like signs are plus, unlike signs are negative, 4 times. Then, outers and inners should be like terms or you made a mistake. So you can't leave it like that. You got to combine like terms, which is addition subtraction rules. If the signs are like, add and take the same sign. If the signs are different, subtract, take the sign of the larger. So I get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Alright, but you do get good at it. Let's do another one. Let's do x plus 5 times x minus 4. I multiply my firsts. X times x is x squared. I multiply my outers. These are my outers. Minus 4, I'm not copying over the minus. I'm thinking unlike signs. I get minus 4x. I multiply my inners, like signs, plus 5x. I multiply my last. I get negative 20. Outers and inners should be like terms. You got a mistake. So I combine like terms. That's addition subtraction rules. The signs are different. Subtract, take the sign of the larger. Alright, we'll do another one. X minus 3 times x minus 6. I multiply my firsts. I get x squared. I multiply my outers. I get minus 6x. I multiply my inners. I get minus 3x. I multiply my last. Like signs are plus, I get plus 18. So remember, it's 4 multiplies. Combine like terms. I get x squared minus 9x plus 18. Again, with your exponent rules, don't mix them up. Combining like terms, you don't touch exponents. Nobody should have a squared here. So now, I would give you 2 to do. Put it on pause, because this is so important. You got to get these right. All right? So we'll FOIL these. X minus 5 and x plus 4. Then we'll do x minus 2 and x minus 8. All right. So put it on pause and FOIL those two. So now, I multiply my first, I get x squared. My outers, plus 4x. My inners, minus 5x. My last, negative 20. So I get x squared minus x minus 20. If you want to put a 1, you can, but 1s are understood. Over here, first, I get x squared. My outers, minus 8x. My inners, minus 2x. My last, plus 16. X squared minus 10x plus 16. So now all we have to do is make them a little bigger. So now all I have to do is add a coefficient, but it's not bad. 5x minus 1, 2x3. If I took away this 5 and I took away this 2, they're the ones we did already. But the process is the same. I multiply firsts. I get 10x squared. I multiply outers, plus 15x. I multiply inners, minus 2x. I multiply my last, negative 3. Combine inners and outers. I've got 10x squared plus 13x minus 3. So it's the same process, just a little different. All right, we'll do another one. 6x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. I multiply my firsts. I get 12x squared. I multiply my outers, minus 18x. I multiply my inners, minus 10x. I multiply my last, plus 15. Outers and inners combine. So I get 12x squared. Now be careful, if the signs are alike, add and take the same sign. Minus 28x plus 15. So it's the same process. The hardest one, all we have to do is add an extra letter. Let's say I have 4x minus 3y times 5x plus 2y. So the only difference is we added an extra letter. Process is the same. I multiply my first, 20x squared. I multiply my outers, plus 8xy. Remember, don't forget it's x times y. My inners, minus 15. Now this is the first time you're doing these. You might think that I would write yx. But because of standard form and commutative property, xy is the same as yx. So I'm going to make this xy. My last, I get negative 6y squared. Combine like terms. 20x squared, take the sign of the larger, 7xy minus 6y squared. Basically, it's the hardest you can have. We'll do one more. Let's make it 2x minus 3y. And we'll make it a 6x minus y. Okay, here we go. I multiply my first, 12x squared. My outers, minus 2xy. My inners, minus 18xy. Multiply my last, plus 3y squared. Make sure you remember that y times y is y squared. We're multiplying. Combine like terms. 12x squared minus 20xy plus 3y squared.